Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dami. If you're new to my channel, you're most definitely welcome. I'm a YouTuber based in London, Ontario, Canada. I share my life living in this country. I moved to this country as an international student, and I love to share my lifestyle and how you can also successfully get here as a student as well. In today's video, I will be talking about how I was able to save up while I was in school. We know international students are only allowed to work for up to 20 hours a week when they're in school, and 40 hours or full-time when school is on break. And that may not be enough to save up money because you would have expenses and things like that that will take up your money. So I will be sharing with you how I did it and how you can also go about it as well. So without any further delay, I'm going to get straight into this video. So the first thing I would say about saving as an international student living in Canada or in any foreign country, as the case may be, is that always have a plan, always have a budget. You don't just say you want to save and you're not planning towards saving. So you always have to have a plan, you always have to have a budget. I remember when I was in school in my first semester, I came and I had not paid my second semester tuition. I had the second semester tuition, but I still wanted to save up to be able to raise some money as well. So not just my tuition fee, but also I wanted to be able to save up some things that I could use in the future for whatever thing I need to use it for. I had a plan, I had a budget. I knew that I wanted to save at least before the end of 2021. I wanted to be able to save at least 8,000 Canadian dollars. And I was in school, I was working I was working part-time, and I knew I was not going to be done with school until August. So my plan was to save up with a very tight budget. I was very fortunate enough to find a family that was living in the same city where my school was. I know sometimes we can be very proud and we want to stay by ourselves. We're coming into a country outside where we are coming from, outside our country, and we just want to explore the country as well. You don't want to be limited. You don't want to be with someone that can limit you or that would limit you or restrict your movement. So most of the time, that's one of the reasons why international students come and they want to stay by themselves, or they want to explore, they don't want to live with anybody. But honestly, I would advise that if you have a family staying in the same city or in the same province, maybe not the same province because Canada is big. If you have a family staying in the same city as where your school is and there is nothing attached to it, you can definitely stay with that person. It saves you a lot of cost. So you can stay with them and plan that, okay, I'm going to stay with this family for 5 months. And at that time, that 5 months, you've saved up, if you're working 20 hours and they're paying you the minimum wage. So in 2 weeks, if you're earning bi-weekly, you'd get nothing less than $500, or let's say nothing less than $450 in 2 weeks. And that's if you're earning minimum wage. And in 1 month, that is $800, and that is a lot of money. I would not lie, if you're staying with someone. So it allows you save up that money that you should have been using on rent. You can save that money up, and that was what I did. So I was staying with a family and I wasn't paying rent. I wasn't really spending my money, and at the time I came, I didn't get a job until March. That was 2 months, almost 3 months after I got into the country. And I was just thinking about it, that if I had not had the family to stay with, I'm sure I would have finished spending. I would have spent almost all the money I brought from Nigeria. So it was a blessing to me that I was able to stay with that family. So if you have someone to stay with that is accommodating enough and is willing to let you stay in their place for a couple of months, please go for it. Don't do shakara. Like, don't be proud and say you're not going to stay with a family or you're not going to stay with somebody because you're scared to become their house girl or whatever thing it may be. Try to stay with your family. Moving on from that, the next thing I would say is that always try to cut your coat according to your size. I know you're in a new country, you're trying to enjoy the country as much as you can. You're trying to utilize all the benefits that the country brings, which includes having to take a phone without having to pay the full amount. Like, you can decide to go to Apple Store, get a phone, or go to one of the service providers, get a new phone, and be paying monthly. Like, be paying like $40 or $50 monthly, which, yeah, it's not too much, it's not bad. But if you have a functioning phone, if you have a functioning phone, a functioning laptop, there's really no reason why you want to get a new one. Like, there is actually no reason. So try to cut your quota according to your size. Don't do more than yourself. Don't say because I'm in a new country, I want to explore. Please explore. Please explore. But cut your quota according to what you know you have. You're earning $800 monthly and you're taking trips. You're going to Niagara Falls, Toronto. In a month you're going to up to 3 places, 3 different destinations, and that costs you a lot. That would definitely cost you a lot. There's always, like I always say, there's always time for vacations, there's always time to travel, there's always time for everything. And if you know that you're not a rich kid and you're just trying to save up money while you're in this country, please cut your coat according to your size. Don't say because your friends or your classmates are doing a certain type of thing, then you want to leverage on that and you want to follow them to Vancouver, or you want to follow them to Niagara, or you want to follow them to Quebec. Like, cut your coat according to your size. Don't follow other people because they're doing something. Another thing I would say is, not everybody has families. Some people don't even have anybody. They don't know anybody in Canada. So if that is your case and you don't know anybody, you have to definitely rent a place. Still check for places that are very affordable. Don't overdo. Like, stay in a shared space, stay in a student accommodation, because in London right now, London is cheaper than Toronto, but in London right now, if you're going to rent like an apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment, trust me, you're spending nothing less than $1,200 for a 1-bedroom apartment, or $1,100 for a 1-bedroom apartment, which is a lot of money. That's even already more than what you're earning. So try as much as possible to stay in a shared space, in a student accommodation. Student accommodations are usually cheaper. You'd find a student accommodation for like $500 or $700 or $600, which is quite all right, depending on your preferences, depending on what you want to be in your room. If you intend to stay somewhere that there is a private washroom in each of the rooms, definitely you'll be paying more than someone that is staying somewhere that everybody has to share just one washroom or one toilet or one bathroom. So yeah, think of those things. Try as much as possible, look at different opportunities in different areas. Go on Kijiji, go on Facebook Marketplace, look for a shared apartment, look for people that are leasing out their rooms. Some students are done and they're living where they are and they just want to lease out their rooms, and it's always cheap. Those things are always cheap. Just do your research, check for places. Don't rush into the fact, okay, because you're coming and you don't have anywhere, you want to rush into getting a place, and the place is like $1,000, and after 2 months after paying it, you get stuck and you're seeking help from back home, and you cannot do that anymore. So another thing I would say is make sure to cook at home most of the time. He also was able to imbibe the attitude of making food at home, cooking at home, not having to spend money to buy food all the time. In some of my videos, you guys see that I go to sometimes I go to the mall. There's one of my favorite places that I buy food from in the mall, but I don't do it all the time. I don't buy food all the time. I don't buy coffee all the time. I make coffee in the house if I need coffee. I make food in the house. I take food to work. I try as much as possible to cut down on the spending, cut down on unnecessary spending, because we may think that, oh, food is cheap. Food is actually cheap, because if I go to McDonald's to buy like burger and fries and stuff like that, I may not spend more than $10 for my burgers and fries. But after eating that burger and fries at that time, my next meal, I need to spend money to buy another one. So compared to having to cook in the house, so imagine I make rice. That rice, I can portion it and it will last me for up to 7 days, depending on the quantity I make. So that just makes a lot of sense. And the money I'm going to spend on making that food or that rice may not be more than $25 for all the ingredients I'm going to use to make the rice. So why would I want to buy food just one time and spend $15 when I can use that same money to make food that can last me for up to 4 days? right? So that is another way you can cut down on your cost and save more money in the country. And also pick more shifts when you're on break. If you're, because you're a student and you're allowed to only work you're a student and you're allowed to only work for 20 hours in a week, but that is if you're working somewhere outside school. So if possible, you can look for a job in school on campus. So if you're working on campus, you're allowed to work up to 40 hours in a week. Yes. So if you're working on campus, you're allowed to work up to 40 hours a week. But the jobs in school sometimes are very competitive. There's so many people looking for that same job as you. So you can apply for like library assistant, teaching assistant, and stuff like that. And it allows you work longer hours than other people. So imagine your mates, their income is like $800 because they're only able to work for 20 hours in a week, and you're working in school on campus and you're able to work 40 hours a week and your income is doubled. You're getting like $1,500 in a week. That means you're able to save way more than people that are working 20 hours in a week. But if for some reason, or not everybody can get jobs on campus or in school, if for some reason you're not able to get jobs in school or a job in school, when school is on break, make sure that you're working your full time. Make sure you're picking up more shifts. If the place you're working is not willing to give you more shifts, which was my case at the time, I had to look for a job. I had to look for another job. So I took a second job when I was on break. And yeah, so if you're on break, try to take more shifts, try to do your full-time job, and that time you're able to save as much money as you can. I don't think there's any other thing I want to add to this video. I just want to make it very short and simple. And if this video is helpful to you or to someone, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.